have imagined. The guys from the 7th Precinct were investigating a series of murders below Houston. Another body had turned up, this time in the East Village, my domain. They knew some things about their suspect already, and it was their latest intel that made the sergeant yank me from my desk and send me down to Pitt Street, where the case was laid out like a map on a table. In the span of 4 months, 3 murders, all women. Becca Walkwitz, Lainey Miner, Jess Lowenthal. There was no evidence of abusive relationships, no history of drugs or run-ins with bad crowds to explain why they'd been plucked from the street and turned into statistics. The only common thread was all 3 women used the same dating app, and all had dated a man named Blake Brom. Brom's profile picture, I explained to Carson Gates, showed a Caucasian male in his mid-30s with dark hair and blue eyes. Hair dye, colored contact lenses, and photo filters were a given. It's witness-based composite sketches, not manipulated photos, that tend to get us our guy. Still, something about his picture tugged at my gut. His face evoked a memory, dog-eared and soft from use, but long ago misplaced. I'd seen Brom before, but couldn't say where. The guy's bio claimed he liked airport novels and Bill Murray movies. More lies. Historical data from the app's administrators told us he updated his profile often, no doubt trying various combinations to see what stuck. There was just one constant among the write-ups, a line of text present every time. Blake Brom was from a town called Swanton, Vermont. Swanton. Sounds pretty as a picture, right? I said as Carson listened with parted lips. Back in the 60s, the Queen of England gifted Swanton with a pair of royal swans, and swans still swim in the town's village green park. To the west, you'll find Lake Champlain. To the north, Canada. The 2010 census put the population of Swanton at 6,427. I know this because Swanton is where I grew up. There it was. It took an embarrassingly long time for me to go on. When I heard the killer claimed to be from my hometown, I understood why the sergeant asked me to drop everything for this case. There was a 2-week time span between the disappearances, and no reason to think Brom's spree was done. We were roughly the same age, he and I, and 6,000 people wasn't a lot. Carson waited, cupping the back of his baby's smooth neck with both hands. They were hoping I could ID the guy. I went on. Surely you know him, they said. What I didn't tell Carson, or anyone else, is that they were right. 1. 13 months later. Murder. I repeated the word clumsy on my tongue. The last time I spoke it, I was in another world. Tim rocked his office chair, testing the bounce on springs sticky with dust, and raised his empty coffee mug. Murder on an island, he said. If it didn't make me a heartless creep, I'd call this your lucky day, Shane. It was a nickname I hated, but I was still trying to reconcile Tim's news with the water coursing down the window behind him, so I let it slide. Shane, Tim said my first day on the job. Don't tell me you've never seen Shane. Old Western movie gunfighter with a mysterious past. Get it? I didn't. Hated Westerns with their drama and dust, but Tim was convinced it was funny. That morning, no one was laughing. Tim took the transfer call from dispatch while I was putting a second pot on to brew, listening to the thunder rattle the panes and expecting nothing more from this Saturday than dry skin from the electric heat. As much as I wished the call was a joke, too, Tim needling the new guy or a prank by some bored townies, I knew it wasn't, for 3 reasons. The first was Tim's face. He had cartoonish eyebrows, so wide and straight they might have been drawn with a Sharpie. I'm not saying I'm perfect.